Welcome to Wingo with your host, Derek Wingo. I got your fun fact for the day. It's almost not even a fun fact, it's a shout out to all Gator sports right now, just on fire, right? We have basketball, gymnastics, golf, men's and women's swimming. It's almost everything now is ranked in the top 10. And of course, it's got to be the year that I leave. I mean, it's actually every year, all the sports have been pretty amazing. But this year has just been absolutely amazing. Be able to see the basketball team go out. I think they're ranked number 2 right now, which is crazy because they had just beat Auburn. And I mean, I don't know how all the rankings work, but it's pretty cool to see it. Now, obviously, football, the projections for next year, I'm super excited for those guys to be able to put on a show. And excited for them. So we'll kind of jump right into it. I'm super excited to have Mason Taylor, former LSU Tiger, on the show after this. Currently both in the training process for the NFL draft. He's about to leave for the combine. So we'll get to chop it up a little bit with him after this. But the main thing that I want to talk about today was my perspective on NIL and the transfer portal. Obviously, the two biggest things that's blown up here in the college football world, starting off with just NIL. NIL overall I think is absolutely amazing. You know, being able to give these athletes just the opportunity to make money and, you know, off of their name, image, and likeness, and then benefit from it, right? With all the money that the schools make and, you know, make that go back to the athlete, right? And then now what I'm like trying to understand, and I think that these schools need to do a better job, is how can we put the right people in place in front of these athletes to be able to manage that money, right? You know, me, fortunate enough, I've had an amazing family that has grown me to be a great person, I believe to say. You know, I was able to pay my Roth IRA for the entire, in full, for the 3 years that I was at the University of Florida with NIL. Like, have my own personal investment savings account, being able to, you know, have my own credit cards to build my credit before I was even able to finish college. So these are like just small things that I think the universities need to take advantage of to be able to help these athletes, you know, set themselves up for future. Because, you know, it's hard to look at an 18-year-old in the face and be like, hey, you're not going to play football your whole life. You may not even go to the NFL. And like, they're going to look at you like you have 7 eyes and like you're crazy. But being able to realize that at a young age, to be able to plan for the future, is how you're able to stay successful. And I think that's the thing that these schools need to stress upon and be able to understand that with all the money that you're making, how can you capitalize on it at such a short time? You know, I even heard of stories of guys in high school who are getting $200,000 a year for trading cards that are in high school. Like, what are you doing with that $200,000 a year? Like, you're being able to put that money in a right place at the right time to be able to set yourself up for the future. I think that's what these schools need to focus on and harp on, because even in the NFL now, I think the rate is almost, I think it's 70, even higher than 70% that athletes in the NFL go broke after they're done playing, right? The average playing time in the NFL is about 3 years. So that, for some guys, is the most money that you're ever going to make in your career. And not just playing sports, but, you know, if you have a career after playing sports. So how can you take advantage of that short period of time, making so much amount of money, to, you know, monetize not only yourself, but grow your wealth, your net worth, and everything that you have to be able to set yourself up for that. So that's one big thing that I have for it. And then also is pretty cool that the NFL did actually take a step to help improve this, is the NFL is expanding the payments, actually how it works. So when you think about contracts for the NFL and the game checks, right? How you're getting paid is between those 18 weeks. You know, the money that you guys see online is nowhere near sometimes the money that guys are actually getting. Whether or not it's taxes, you're paying your agent, you're paying your financial advisor, you're paying your lawyers, you're paying all these people to oversee these things. And then, you know, you see the guys buying houses, buying cars. So that money actually is a lot less than what it actually looks like, especially if you're in different states, you know, like California, where you're getting triple tax and all different types of things like that. And it's just the NFL being able to expand it, not getting paid in the 18 weeks and making it, I don't know the exact weeks, but making it a little bit longer, being able to spread out that money so guys aren't just blowing away their money at such a short amount of time. So I think not just in the collegiate level, even the high school level now, but even in the professional league, how can we be able to help athletes understand the magnitude of the money that they're getting and being able to stretch it out for long periods of time to be successful? A pretty cool thing that the NCAA has done, I don't know if some of you guys have seen it, was the settlement, right? It was a $2.7 billion settlement where it would go back to athletes that, you know, maybe not have got all the monetization that they had before NIL was completed. For me personally, I was someone who's been able to take advantage of that. I think April 7th is the date where it's already been approved, but April 7th is the date where it might now get approved for that money. Each athlete now has different ranges of money that they're going to earn or what it might look like. But the cool thing about what they've done for that, how that will look, is that money that they say you're estimated to receive will now be spread up 10 years monthly. So now you got to look at that as passive income and something that can be able to help you after you're done playing the game of football to set yourself up for the future. So when we come back, we're able to have Mason Taylor on to chop a little bit about what it was like for him playing his 3 years at LSU and him training for the NFL draft.
Daniels for the win. Gone. It's gone. LSU does it. Mason Taylor.
Welcome back to Winging It with Wingo. My special guest today, Mason, let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mason Taylor, tight end at LSU.
Number 86, Mason. I've known you for a long time, went to high school together, obviously at rival schools in college. We'll kind of jump right into it. You were thrown kind of right into the fire, right? Your freshman year, playing for LSU, starting, obviously huge impact. What was that like kind of being a young athlete, having that impact, and also got to bring up the game-winning two-point conversion versus Alabama?
Yeah, it was a surreal first year at LSU. I didn't enroll early, so I was there in May. Didn't get the chance to kind of go through a spring ball before my first jump at Florida State, our first game. And I think, everything was just fast. And I think kudos to St. Thomas, where I came from. I think we were really structured there with how we approach every single day. So I think it was a pretty smooth transition. But, I didn't know I would be that big of an impact my first year at a college. I was going to go through the process, special teams guy, scout team player, stick to the process. And my offensive coordinator a couple of weeks before the first game was like, hey, you're going to get a shot in this first game, and kind of hit me like I could get my head on straight. So, first year was awesome. And like you said, the Bama game, it was just a crazy experience. And I'll remember that for my lifetime. So.
Yeah, you talked about it. Death Valley, obviously one of the craziest stadiums all of college football, 100,000 fans screaming. That was a nighttime game. You said when they stormed the field, you got a chance to see some of your boys and everything was kind of just crazy. I've been a part of a few fields being stormed and stuff like that. What was that like, the surreal moment? Did it hit you, threw your hands up in the air, just kind of taking that off?
Everyone jokes with me for just throwing my hands up and not doing anything. When I tell you I hit the ground and the ball is just in my arms, I just blacked out at that point. And I guess all our teammates were running at me, and the noise, and I couldn't even really remember it right now, but the noise and I felt like the stadium was the floor was vibrating. It was unreal. And that's why I just threw my arms up. I was damn near crying, but it was a crazy moment. And I just think that's just how our stadium is when night games like that against big opponents. It's hard to play in.
Sure. So I got to bring him up. Jaden Daniels obviously was your quarterback for a short time while you were there. Amazing first season in the NFL, offensive rookie of the year. Mm-hmm. How was that like playing with him, a dual threat quarterback, being able to open up things for you as a tight end, the running and the passing game, and just being able to be around a guy like that, not just in the locker room, but outside of the field as well? Yeah,
no, it was awesome. And getting experience that for 2 years with him and other guys like Malik and Brian Thomas, it was an amazing experience. And just seeing how they come to work every single day. I've never seen someone work as hard as Jaden does, and it just shows. It shows his college career winning the Heisman, and it shows in the NFL. So just seeing him work every single day and being able to work with him was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, so we'll throw it back a little bit to high school. Obviously, we went to the same high school together at St. Thomas. You talked a little bit about just the transition of everything that Coach Harriet was able to do, and Coach Smith and all those different coaches, transition from high school to college. Obviously, that benefited a lot. Mm-hmm. For me, I was able to be fortunate enough to have your dad, Coach Taylor, be my personal coach at St. Thomas. What was that like for you growing up, having your dad as someone obviously who was a high caliber player, someone who he's in the Hall of Fame, all this recognition? Was he someone who always pushed you to play football or just pushed you to play sports in general, just growing up with that kind of always in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I think that's just how our family worked. I guess in football, but everything we did competitive-wise. Soccer, basketball, volleyball, baseball. We played everything growing up, and really just the nature of competition in our family was huge. With my brother Isaiah and Zoe, no matter what we're doing, I'm trying to beat them. Homework, video games. If we're in the backyard at Thanksgiving playing football, I'm stiff arming my sister. I don't care. That's just how we're raised to be. So growing up with my family has been awesome. And yeah, you don't feel much of a push with football, but it comes to you naturally. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with it. And my dad also suggested me to go to tight end, and ever since it's been I've been an offensive guy. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I made a little joke the other day. I was laughing about it. If you and your dad are in public, someone asks for a picture, And then probably nowadays asking for the picture for you, and your dad's sitting there like, because our generation, we're starting to forget about him. He's getting a little old.
He's too old.
All right, so the NFL Combine's coming up. We've been in this process of training for it. Your journey looked a little bit different during this process, right? You had the Reese Senior Bowl. You have to leave for the Combine and then come back to train for Pro Day. How has that kind of been, just being able to, your timeline looks a little bit different, having like 2 weeks here, then the bowl game, 2 weeks, and then the Combine, and then 2 weeks, and then Pro Day. How has that been for you, just both mentally, physically, and then just being able to prepare yourself all together?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot for sure. Like you said, bouncing to the Senior Bowl and then coming back in training and leaving for the Combine next week. I mean, it's been hectic, but I mean, they say this is the longest year of your lives, and it's kind of one of those things that if you really lock in and prepare the way you're supposed to, I mean, you could set yourself up for a lifetime. So just really toning in on those details and, just remembering why you've been here and why you're in this point is really important for me. And it's just, it's hard. Getting my degree, trying to finish my degree, graduate in May. And so I'm doing 4 online classes and an internship while doing this all
at the same time.
So, I mean, it's just like a punch after punch after punch. So, I mean, I'm keeping my head in it and just enjoying it, man, because like I said, I mean, this can really set you up for a lifetime.
Yeah, talk about just enjoying the process, enjoying the guys you're doing it with. And then I have to ask, because it's been starting to hit me a little bit. It's like a surreal moment, something that you've watched on TV for so long, watching the NFL Combine on TV, watching, you played with Jaden Daniels, now you're seeing him on TV in the NFL. Has it hit you yet, knowing that, like, you're about to go on TV at the NFL Combine and then, competing to be one of the top NFL prospects for this next upcoming draft?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's surreal, and I think I don't get hit with these things until like a couple days or months after. Like, same with the Bama game, like it didn't really hit me until honestly now. It's like, so I think it's the same thing with the NFL Combine. Like, it's just kind of like, you've worked for this, you've earned this, you go out there and do it, and then you're like, you watch it every single year, you watch the draft every single year. Now, being in it, I think it's going to be a different feeling for sure. When my name gets called, it's definitely going to be a surreal moment and probably hit me in that spot for sure.
Definitely, with all the family around, it's
definitely hit me then.
So that would be a good one. Yeah. All right, we'll get into kind of a little bit more of a fun part about it. We'll do the 9 questions in 90 seconds. Didn't give you a chance to see it, so
all right.
All right. So question 1: any other position you think you can play besides tight end?
Defensive end.
Defensive 100%. End? Better than your dad?
100%. If I put my mind to it, I could do anything.
I love it. Sure. All right, favorite stadium to play in besides Death Valley?
Oof. Get that shit out of here. A&M. Texas A&M.
Texas A&M's a good one.
I ain't gonna say Florida because but Texas A&M, they're
pretty loud too. Yep. Favorite Brian Kelly moment, whether or not it was in the locker room, at a practice, something he was doing that just kind of blew your mind.
I don't know. He's goofy. He's a silly guy. So maybe just laughing at one of his jokes or dad jokes he got going on. So I would say that's pretty
funniest guy in the locker room for all the 3 years.
Connor Lacey. Connor Lacey. I mean, dancing every single second of the clock for sure.
All right, your best college football experience.
Bama game.
Had to be
2022.
Had to be the catch, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely. Outside of football, what's the favorite thing to kind of keep your mind off sports? Favorite thing to do?
Golf. Getting out in nature, going there with the boys, and definitely getting the links out.
Yep. Getting the links out. All right, you signed a big contract. What's the first thing you're going to buy?
First thing I'm going to buy. I'm not a big spender. I mean, I'm a saver, so I think I'd save it. Something like a golf simulator would be cool. I'd say a golf simulator. Nothing big like a car. I mean, I think I'm pushing the big money to savings, but definitely a golf simulator.
You got to up your game. Yep. All right, favorite tight end, either playing now or of all time in the NFL?
Okay, I'd say playing now would be George Kittle. George Kittle, how he plays. He just, the way he takes pride in not coming off the field and being like an all-down tight end is something I definitely look up to for sure.
All right, and then the last one, I have a start, bench, or cut. George Kittle, Rob Gronkowski, or Travis Kelce?
Oh, God.
3 of some of the best tight ends ever played in the National Football League.
I mean, they all have their different attributes. I mean,
you got to choose one.
I'd say number 1, I like Rob Gronkowski. Number 2, I'd say George Kittle, and number 3, Travis Kelce.
So you're cutting Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
You're going to bench George Kittle and start.
Personally, I like a guy who could do it all. I'm not saying Travis Kelce can't do it all. He's an amazing route runner. But if I'm running an offense, I want a guy who can hit, catch the ball.
Do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
All right, so we'll get into this last final part
Oh God.
Drawing, testing your artistic skills. You're at LSU for 3 years, right? You see, you guys have the Tiger, bring them on the field, have your best LSU Tiger.
All right.
I'll give you 30 to 45 seconds to have your best LSU
Usually
Tiger.
our logo is LSU too. It's not really a tiger.
No, that's why you don't know LSU. It has to be the Tiger.
All right.
Give it some of the whiskers or whatever it might be. I've done some of the guys' drawings were hilarious. Definitely going to stick to football rather than the artistic aspect of it. Oh man, I should have.
Bro, this is bad. I can't draw with it. All right.
I said I got to find the video of your dad doing the celebration after the sack.
Oh, you gotta
He's
put
doing
that in there.
The crazy dance. You got to have doing that one after you score a
Oh
touchdown.
hell no! Can't embarrass myself like that.
All right, 10 seconds.
All right, I'm done.
All right, you got to show it.
Wait, I need eyes. All right. Let me put the logo.
All right, what do you got?
Boom. That's it right there. Not a big draw. Our logo is really LSU. Oh yeah, we have a mascot, we have an emblem, but
It's pretty good.
it's a
I
big,
like
bold
it.
LSU for sure.
All right, well, thanks again for Mason for taking the time to chop it up a little bit. Love having the opportunity just to talk ball, especially with someone you've grown up with, training with, and stuff like that. But that's it for today. Wingo out.